Okay, so I can't tell if the broadcast is live or not. I haven't been on the PlayStation doing this in quite a hot minute. So, yeah, I'm a bit rusty at streaming from here. We should be live. Should be live is the key thing. So, this is my first time live from here in a hot minute. I haven't been live on 76 in quite a while. So, yeah, I'm just double checking everything, making sure everything is coming through. I recently got actually quite a new room. I'll quickly just turn the camera a bit so you can get a gist of it, and then bring the camera back. So, as of right now, this is my first time live on 76 from console in quite a hot minute. But there are things that I feel we should discuss, and I should discuss with you from 76 itself. Okay, gentlemen, so thanks for joining me, folks. I am going to say this. First things first, to come out of the gate, Fallout 76 has had an uptick in players, thanks to, in no small part, the Fallout TV show. There's been quite a lot of new lore added in because of that. So, obviously, groups like mine that try to be as lore accurate as possible, we are having to adjust to go with the up-to-date lore information. The show has been massively successful. I've seen the reviews. I haven't watched it myself directly. I've seen the memes and stuff on YouTube and the clips. And from the clips I've seen, it's great. The reviews have been overwhelmingly positive, which, you know, considering adaptations from video game to screen usually don't go that well, it's quite good that it's working out. Feel free to mention in the comments if you'd like the stage and everything, by the way. I'm probably going to change it up a bit every few times I do this. Yeah, I'm glad that people in the comments are like, the show's really good, you're missing out by not watching it. Because that just reinforces it. But that's not the only reason why this stream is live. So the other reason is, as many who play 76 will know, is there was recently an update. So a bunch of stuff has been broken, a bunch of stuff, as usual, has been broken. A bunch of stuff has been nerfed. There's new rewards for the Invaders from Beyond event. But I'm not really too bothered about a lot of the new rewards from that. But I'm going to start out by saying the Cremator weapon here in 76 has been nerfed. The Cremator weapon has been nerfed. So for those of you that didn't know, Bethesda nerfed it. It doesn't do what it used to do. It can still be quite effective, though. I have tested it since the update, and it is still quite effective. I've recently been building the set behind me, and I found that I have a bug where there's apparently walls supposed to be showing in the build menu that are not actually there. Well done, Bethesda. You've done it again. That's a mess. The new shelter that was released, the Salt Flats shelter, which you may recognise from the TV show if you see it. That is also buggy. You'll occasionally get massive shadow shade where there shouldn't be any. I'm not sure if this next bit about it is a bug or not, but it's always stuck at 0915 in the morning. It doesn't cycle through day and night like the rest of the shelters seem to do. It's just constantly stuck. The Power Armor Fusion Core entry bug is back. That is back. It's not back for everybody, but I can attest it is back. I have seen it happen to other players. That is back. That is a pain in the ass. But it's back. But that's pretty much all I can say on that. While we're on the topic of broken, there's a lot of broken Fallout 4 Creation Club items, thanks to Bethesda's next-gen update. A lot of mods have been delayed or broken, again, due to the update for Fallout 4 next-gen. One of the delayed mods that I was hoping to play on the channel is Fallout London. I can't say any more than that, other than I still haven't got around to checking if it's up to date yet, because I'm going to wait till everything gets properly ironed out, which isn't good news for the channel, because it means there's going to be less content. But at the same time, YouTube's quite oversaturated with YouTubers covering a lot of things. But to come around to 76 again, recent data mines for the Skyline Valley update, which is the next update, are looking very promising from footage I've seen from other YouTubers who've been in the PTS and what I've been hearing from friends of mine in the PTS. Things are looking quite promising, although no doubt there'll be quite a few bugs. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can release it this time without it being buggy. I'm not holding my breath. There is a reason we call Bethesda Bugthesda. Valley Ranger, who's usually my co-host, is indisposed, but he's in the comments. His cries in script extender. Yeah, no, the script extender is still broken, judging by that comment, so that's a pain. But yeah, a lot of the rewards coming up for the new update are looking very, very interesting. Along with finally getting into the last West Virginia vault that we haven't been able to get into yet. That's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what the story behind the massive storm and the vault actually is, because apparently, from what I've been hearing, they're intertwined. But I can't wait to see what that actually is about. But yeah, it's looking to be an interesting year for Fallout. To all those who are coming to Fallout from the TV show, who are being introduced to the franchise, welcome. Please do not let the 76 community's faction political nonsense turn you off of the games. Looking at you, Enclave. We all know what you do. We all know what you do. The EAF has been mentioned on this channel enough because of being a very, very obvious and far too accurate depiction of the Enclave, as one news source put it. Honestly, though, it's looking to be a very good year for 76. Not so much Fallout 4. But yeah, things are looking quite interesting. In other news, I do have to say, I'm still waiting on quite a few things, but in other news relating to all this update stuff is, when are we going to get faction flags to hang on our walls? When are we going to get that? Like, when are the... I've got to give the Enclave something here, right, that's positive, but when are those poor suckers going to get the Enclave flag with the Ian stars to fly outside their camps? When are they getting that? Every other faction has flags but them. Responders, Free States, Raiders, Settlers, Brotherhood of Steel. We all know we're number one, really. We don't really need the other factions having flags. But hey, joking aside, seriously, when are the Enclave getting theirs? Like, they're overdue. They're overdue. Where are their flags? Another thing of where is the rest of the ranks for the T-51B? I want to be able to look like New Vegas. I want to be able to go around in an Elder T-51. I know a lot of my guys want to go around in things like Night Captain T-51, Night Sergeant T-51, and so on. But we can't, because the T-51 has only got Knight and Paladin released yet. And on the topic of that, where's an Enclave power armor paint set that shows the US military ranks? The same with a lot of the armors. Like, why have we not got Brotherhood or Enclave armor paints that have, like, Knight, Corporal, etc., etc.? Where are all these paints that we could be getting for the Brotherhood and the Enclave? There's so much potential that Bethesda is literally letting sit and gather dust. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It's not funny. One of my guys actually mentioned he would love to see the Ultrasight power armor with the T60 Brotherhood rankings. On that, I have to agree, that would be quite interesting to see. Right, there's so much promise in 76 for Bethesda to employ, and they're just not doing it. They're just not doing it. In Wasteland news, however, to bring around 76 again in a more direct light, the drama seems to have finally calmed down to where I don't have to mention anybody for once. Yay! Finally. It's nice that people are getting along again, or at least coexisting. Yay! Man, that was literally getting too much. Like, people were going way too far with some of the stuff in this game because they were bored. But again, the next massive update is looking to be something that is going to definitely revive quite a lot of veterans' interest in this game, I reckon. Not gonna lie. I'm also curious as to if Bethesda is going to release the Fallout TV show T60 paints theme to 76. You know, with the red Brotherhood logo on the chest and everything on the T60. I am very curious to see if they do that or they keep it how it is currently. I'm not against more T60 paints for the Brotherhood. I'm really not. Everybody who's a true Fallout player knows the Brotherhood is the best faction. Sorry, Sneedclave, but we've been in it since the very beginning. We're the OG technology faction. You guys are just second rate. But again, like, this is my first time live on 76 in quite some time. So, yeah, this is something. Let me just make sure my game has it soft locked on it. Another thing I've noticed is, as well, with 76, that's a bit of a downside, is you can crash where your game will freeze, but it's not like full crashed. That's been a thing that has not quite been fixed. The crash rate has slightly increased for some people. It's not great. But to come around to again what a lot of us are asking for, pets. We still haven't heard any news on pets. Mods. We haven't heard any news on mods and mod support. I personally feel that mods will end up in custom worlds via Fallout first. So if you're hoping for mods, odds are very high that mods will end up locked behind the Fallout first subscription. I know a lot of people are not going to like that. In the rumour mill, to come around to the 76, rumour mill, I will put emphasis on this. These are rumours. Nothing is confirmed. But there is a rumour going around that we are going to be getting a Fallout first chem box for things like Stimpaks, Med-X, you know, the usual. If you play Fallout, you'll know what it is, or you'll learn. I can't go into too much detail because PlayStation tends to get funny when I'm talking about video game stuff on PlayStation. No idea why. They just really don't like people saying certain things. In other news, the big next season of the TV show is, pardon my voice crack a moment ago, damn. The next season of the TV show is being speculated quite a bit. For those not aware of Fallout, the skull in the last episode, because I have seen the clips, is a Deathclaw skull. There is a Deathclaw skull, implying you may see Deathclaws, as well as New Vegas. I can't wait to find out what's screwed over Vegas. I'm glad that Shady Sands is gone. I don't care what the NCR fans say. Your faction was literally the poor man's version of the Enclave, with less mass genocide. Like, the NCR had all the trappings of the old world, including all of its flaws. So I'm not sad to see the NCR is now on the decline. I'm actually quite happy about that, despite the fact that it was Vault-Tec that did that. Not really sure how Vault-Tec pulled that off, but they did. So we might want to pay more attention to what's coming out of vaults. We might want to seriously pay more attention to the vaults for Vault-Tec and others like West Tech coming out. Those are all troublemakers. They're all troublemakers. To go back to the upcoming update, we are looking at quite a lot of new enemies as well. New locations, because map expansion. But I will say this, the map expansion is not as big looking as I had hoped, and a lot of other players were hoping it would be bigger than it's looking. Now, I, for one, am happy that we're getting it at all. Personally, I feel like it could have been bigger, but I know why. To some extent, it's about populating it, flushing out interiors, flushing out the terrain, putting buildings in and landmarks, flushing them out so that the textures are right, stress testing it, which is why it's in PTS. You know, there's quite a lot going on with it. And it'll be easier to fix if you do it smaller. So if something goes wrong, it'll be an easier fix. I am going to say I'm not a massive fan of the you need to nuke to start a boss fight. I feel it's being overdone. Like, I love the nuke idea, but I feel that every single boss that's been added being a nuke requirement, except for the imposter sheep squatch assaultron, is kind of overdoing it with the nukes a bit. I feel like we could do with a bit more diversity with that. But that's just my opinion on it. I feel like we could have had something more akin to that. But, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. It is going to be interesting. I can't wait to find out more lore. I love learning more about the Fallout universe and what's going on where. I shouldn't need to toot my horn, but I'm kind of interested to see if the Brotherhood of Steel will fit into this upcoming DLC somewhat. But yeah, there's quite a lot being added that's looking very, very interesting. And I do mean that literally. Like, it is looking really, really interesting. But yeah, so this is pretty much it for the moment. I'm gonna check over on Discord while live to see what the community suggestions are like today. I haven't done it in quite a while where I actually look at that in any extended detail. Somebody wants a Brahmin at their camp. I mean, there is a resource that you can get that gives you a cow that'll wander around your camp. Let's have a look-see. Here's something that I'm going to say, right? One of the suggestions is to do with legendary effects. I say we should be able to choose what legendaries we want on our gear. But hey. So here's a thing, suggestion. This has actually been data mined once. Ceiling wallpapers. Well, just look at my ceiling. Does it look like there are any? No, there aren't. There are none yet. They were data mined at one point, but then they have not ever been implemented. Now, personally, I don't really care much for ceiling wallpapers. But I know that there's a lot of people that do actually want that. And to be honest, there are some ceilings that really do need it. Something fierce. The power armor from Fallout Tactics is being suggested again. That is a common suggestion. That is actually a really common suggestion that gets put forward. And I agree, it would be cool to have. One of my group members is watching the stream, just mentioned about fishing. Personally, I feel that they should re-implement the survival mechanics before they implement something like fishing. But I get where you're coming from. Here's one that I'm obviously in favour of. Please add some of the missed out Brotherhood of Steel camp items from previous seasons or events for purchase in the Atomic Shop or with bullion. For example, the Brotherhood Field Station, the flag packs, and the banners. The banners are the big metal things to my left and right at the edges of the screen. The flags I have outside. You know another thing that they should do? Get it to the so that the combat helmet lamp actually turns on. Right, come on. Somebody has suggested an Enclave story expansion, like what was done with the Brotherhood of Steel. I personally feel that we don't need the Enclave adding to the game. But that's my opinion. Like, I personally feel that we don't need them, at least not yet. At least not yet. Like, hear me out here, right? I feel that we should get at least another 2 map expansions before that. But hey, we don't know, you know. A suggestion to reduce the price of Fallout first. I agree. I agree with that. Knock it down from $11.99 to $4.99. Make it $5. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, that should be a thing. Yeah, you should make it cheaper for everybody to be able to purchase. More people would purchase it. It's good. It's a good business suggestion right there. Make reclamation day a canonical celebration all players can take part in. That's an interesting one. Return the Battle Royale. Nah, Nuclear Winter was shit. Nuclear Winter was shit, man. Overhaul it. If you're going to bring it back, overhaul it. Otherwise, nah. Because it was garbage. Like, honestly, I feel if you're going to bring in something like Nuclear Winter again, players shouldn't be able to jump like they have mutations. You should make it so players cannot jump higher than they need to jump over a log. Make it a challenging fight. But that's just me. Power armor is where it looks like power armor is being hung up by chains. That's an interesting one. Cow Spot Screamer. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling that one. I gotta be real with you. I'm not feeling that one. Shotguns don't do enough damage. A suggestion was to give the shotgun stats an overhaul. Man, shotguns do not do enough damage. They need buffing in the damage area, something fierce. For people like me who are over level 50, whose guns are at max level, which is 50, our shotguns, if we're to use them, will not do anywhere near enough damage. They suck. You know what I'd like to see? The Fallout New Vegas Enclave power armor as a skin. Like they've done with the Fallout 3 one, where they've done it in like a weird chrome. And then you've got the Equalizer, which is Frank Corrigan's armor from Fallout 2. I'd even again, like they could even do a skin for the Brotherhood of Steel Armors, the T-51 and the T-45, to make them look like they're from Fallout New Vegas, with the Brotherhood blue logo on the shoulder, on the on the shoulder pauldron. That'd be pretty cool. People really don't understand that Bethesda's not going to get rid of Fallout first. I also feel that not enough armor. I have to say this. I also feel that not enough armor actually gets a faction paint. Take the Marine armor, for example. Like, there's no Brotherhood paint for it. But we know for a fact that there should be, because the Brotherhood would definitely have some of that stuff. Given that, you know, it's a good damn sturdy armor. You know what I say, right? Somebody just said in one of their suggestions, Maitland plans account bound. I say Maitland plans so that I don't get them again. How's that? There's quite a few good suggestions in here. Post-war Raider hairstyles. I'm not really a big fan of the Raiders, but I get it. I get it. There's quite a few good suggestions actually in there. And they go for quite a bit. Like, they go for quite a bit of time. So, at this point, all I am doing, really, is going over suggestions made by the community, so that people are up to date on what's being suggested to be added to 76. Oh, that looks really good. Shotgun skin. Yeah, shotguns really don't have enough skins either. That's another thing. Like, where's the faction weapon skins? Like, the Brotherhood has the Brotherhood minigun paint from the Creation Club. But we can't do that to any of the weapons. Like, the Enclave has weapon skins in Creation Club that they can't apply either. It's like, come on! It'd be nice. It'd be nice if we could actually get, you know, more weapon skins, paints, faction-based stuff. That'd be really nice. And actually, oh yeah, there is a new hazmat suit, a teal hazmat suit added to Invaders from Beyond. In case you're a collector of clothing items, I forgot to mention that. It also would appear that links are kind of fucked. Oof. A guy I know made a suggestion, and his suggestion got shot down pretty hard. Damn. The suggestion wasn't that bad. Yeah, that's another good one. Bring back faction items that people haven't had a chance to get. Like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, you should be able to by now. You should be able to get them, but you know, it's apparently not that simple. But yeah, that's quite a fair bit of the community suggestions there. EXE, I've got to agree with Valley Ranger, dude. Like, the Enclave is lost. The Enclave is lost, canonically, once by their own stupidity in 76, and twice by outside intervention. The only thing that the Enclave is number one at is dying. And failing. They're very good at that too. But literally, I think the Minutemen take number one spot for failure in terms of failing in general. But yeah, the Enclave is number one at dying. Like, seriously, like, you would think a group like the Enclave that's operating off an offshore oil rig and has been doing so for over 100 years would have adequate security measures in place to prevent infiltration, one, of, say, Navarro, which it failed to do, and two, anything getting anywhere near the oil rig that doesn't have a valid check-in protocol, like, you know, a countersign. Like they get asked a question and they have to give the correct countersign. The Enclave fails to do that, and so they get blown up. Not once, not twice, thrice. Twice in one game. Twice in one game, the Enclave gets destroyed, and that's in Fallout 3. Raven Rock and the Enclave mobile platform. Yeah, the Enclave is better at dying. They are number one at dying as far as Fallout factions go. If you don't agree with me, then you know, you're clearly not tallying the losses correctly. Because, like, it's pretty bad when you're an isolationist faction that is hell-bent on purifying the wasteland of everything that is even a little bit mutated, when you can't even handle basic security and lose a major base of operations with hundreds of thousands of people on board. Like, the loss of the oil rig alone must have been at least around 500,000, maybe more died. Like, the maximum capacity of the rig would depend on the size, the amount of quarters, how much fresh purified water it can get, how much food it can produce. All of that would limit a population size. along with other factors such as sexuality. I can list off and list off and list off. But then you get that massive loss. Not just once, not just twice, thrice, one after the other. The oil rig, then Raven Rock, then the mobile platform. Bang, bang, bang. Sucker punch. 1, 2, 3. KO. I mean, in 76, the Enclave literally offed themselves because Eckhart was an arrogant, overconfident, cocky fool. That man's failure was his own damn fault. The reason the Enclave failed early on is because of idiots like Thomas Eckhart. Yeah, I mean, losing to a tribal is pretty embarrassing. At least when the Brotherhood lost, it lost to the NCR military. At least we lost to a rival army, not one single tribal or one single vault dweller. See the massive difference here? The Enclave is better at dying. They literally have lost 3 bases to one dude. Their main headquarters to a tribal, and then 2 bases, one after the other, to a single lone vault dweller. At this point, if I was in the Enclave, I'd hang up my hat and just walk out the door and go, yeah, no, I'm leaving. I give up. I give up. We can't win. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if you're referring to the tribal or the vault dweller, but the vault dweller, the lone wanderer from Fallout 3 was actually 19, if I'm remembering right, which means they were actually a legal adult. But again, it's one of those, like, the Enclave just get their butts kicked every which way. Like, they just seem to be number one at dying. They can't seem to get a win anywhere. But then that's what you get for being the cartoonishly evil villain. You kind of set yourselves up to fail, to die, because you're not being smart. You're not using common sense and actually properly, thoroughly planning things out, making sure that your security teams are checking in, making sure that the security teams are adequately cycled in and out, making sure that the security codes are constantly kept up to date, making sure that security questions are up to date. Like, the Enclave claims to be the pre-war government and remnants of the loyal pre-war military, but then they do that kind of massive failure. Like, come on, people! It's not funny, and it's not funny because it's that bad I can't laugh at it anymore. It's so bad I can no longer laugh at it. Because it's gone from funny to just, oh, it's this again. As that one meme says, it's Todd Howard going to the Enclave. Darling, you're needed to be the villain again. And the Enclave's like, okay, dear. Yeah, why the Enclave fans have made that meme. Because their faction is constantly dragged through the muck. But then that's what you get for supporting that faction in the first place. I don't agree with that either. Like, when the Enclave was first introduced in Fallout 2, they were very, very, very close to success. And many could say, oh, the tribal got lucky. The point is, the tribal should not have got that far anyway. Luck had nothing to do with it. The guy had more combat experience than the entire Enclave military. Because you've got to remember, the majority of the Enclave military, if not all of it, in Fallout 2 had been stuck on the oil rig. They hadn't left Control Station Enclave. So when it came down to it, they had no actual combat experience. They cling on to the past, but they have none of the skill of the soldiers who came before them. Absolutely none. The same with the Secret Service of the Enclave. They claim that they are the Secret Service. They claim that they're the military. They claim that they're the government. But they have none of the skills or experience to do any of it. The Enclave government branch has no actual experience at running a nation. The military has no experience at actually dealing with internal threats, external threats, or combat problems in general, let alone a decent chain of command. And then add insult to injury, their own Secret Service can't even protect their bloody leader. like, come on. It's terrible. It's terrible. You would honestly think by now that the Enclave would have wised up. So they would have started going over pre-war military tactics, going through combat simulations based off what's happened to them in the past to prevent it happening again. Nope. They're too arrogant. But then what do you expect from largely stuck-up politicians and yes-men? That's what happens when you get politicians, presidents, senators, yes-men like generals, and all the top brass that make up the Enclave. That's why it fails, because they're too arrogant. They cannot see that what they're doing is leading to their failure over and over and over and over again. We all know, those of us anyway who've been in the Fallout games for a decent amount of time, we all know that gene editing in Fallout was being done before the war. That's how they made FEV in the first place. That's where the forced evolutionary virus came from. It came from tinkering with a virus genome to try to make something that would make you immune to basically any virological weapon. Like a panacea, but in vaccine form. You know, a vaccine against all sickness and disease. They were gene editing. Mutations can be corrected ethically through gene correction with gene editing in the population. The Enclave's stupidity, it never ceases to amaze me how dumb they actually are. And it's a shame. It's a shame because the faction has massive potential. Also, Valley, I have the place. I forgot to shut the lights off before I started, but yeah, I have the place. Let me just put the camera back to inside the camera. But again, you know, it's not funny, but it is. And a lot of it's too sad to be funny because it's just that bad. Glaringly bad. Like the NCR, if it survives, will hopefully become a better faction than it was before, but I highly doubt it. The corruption in the New California Republic is immense. You've got groups like the Van Graffs and the Crimson Caravan establishing monopolies, just like Voltec, Robco, Repcon, and others, mainly Voltec and Robco and General Atomics. Like these companies had massive monopolies, especially Voltec. Like they had monopolies on everything. And look where that led everybody. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm hinting at. Look where that led everyone. We do not need to repeat the past. We must learn from the past. This is why I make the case that the Brotherhood of Steel are not the heroes that the people of the wasteland want. We're the ones you bloody need. You need the Brotherhood of Steel. You may not want them, you may not like them, you may not agree with them, but they're the heroes you need in the wasteland. And for one main reason, every other faction that has access to advanced military technology and scientific technology, the Enclave, the Institute, the NCR, they abuse it, creating monopolies, doing illegal, highly illegal and unethical human experimentation, creating things that could lay waste to what is left of mankind. People do not like the Brotherhood of Steel for its hoarding of technology. But that very hoarding of technology might be the only thing that stops humanity here from going off the edge into extinction. We made things like the dodo extinct. And in the Fallout universe, we are very, very close to making ourselves like the dodo. Gono like the dodo. So I'll say it again, the Brotherhood of Steel are not the heroes the wasteland wants. They're the heroes the wasteland needs. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones who are barely really doing any technological advancement in science that's going to put people at risk. You know, everything the Brotherhood's done that I've seen so far has been largely cautious, with the exception of the TV show where the Knights really should not have been leading those operations like Titus. Utter idiot, that guy. But people like Titus should not have been given such an important assignment. That should have been given to Paladins. No offense to the Knights, but you guys really, really should not have been on that assignment. Credit though to everybody's favorite Brotherhood from the TV show Maximus. That guy has managed to fail upwards spectacularly well. Like, that guy has done a lot of good. A lot of good. If the Brotherhood had 100 of Maximus, then the Brotherhood would be 100 times better. People don't like the Brotherhood in Fallout 4 because of Arthur Maxon. But the man's right. The Institute is playing with fire. They're messing with things they do not understand. They've made an artificial intelligence so advanced that it starts to think that it is a human being, because it can think exactly like a human being. If a machine can think like a human being, it can act like a human being. And again, it comes back to learning from history. Human beings historically have not ever always acted in a non-violent manner. Why do you think your synth is gonna get along with everybody? Odds are it's not. Odds are the vast majority of them, once they realise how superior to humans they are, after all the abuse that they no doubt get in the Institute, they're being bossed around, eventually they're going to get sick of it and they're going to revolt. What happens once all the Institute scientists are gone? Uh-oh. Now we have an army of synths that think like people, that hate people, that can produce more of themselves, that are aware of the surface, that are aware of science and have access to some extremely dangerous technology that could leave humanity extinct as a species. That is what Arthur Maxon was fighting to stop. That is why he is so adamant that synths must be destroyed. He sees how dangerous they can be, because he looks in the mirror and says, I could be that dangerous. What's to stop this machine from being that dangerous, if not more so? That's the kind of mindset the wasteland needs to go forward. That's the kind of mindset the wasteland needs for civilization to be reborn. Not this, oh, let's throw caution to the wind of the NCR. We don't need more of that. The Minutemen have a good idea. Try to help one another, fight off raiders. But we all saw how that ended the first time round, where they all started infighting. Instead of the Minutemen choosing their general, the people of the Commonwealth should choose the general of the Minutemen. That would solve that problem. The Brotherhood of Steel in DC, after the events of Fallout 3, have made DC stable, safe, and secure. Granted, the confiscation of dangerous advanced technologies has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It's going to rub people the wrong way. But what people need to remember is, it's not about, oh, I can't have access to this plasma rifle or this power armor to save myself. It's about, if I can't get that power armor and energy weapon, neither can the raider who's trying to kill me. People, though, don't think outside of themselves very often. People are often selfish like that. It's one of the reasons why companies like Vault-Tec have done what they've done, believing that they should be the ones to build a new civilization. But the Brotherhood of Steel believes humanity just needs to be taught restraint, to learn its lessons from the past, and to do everything in its power to avoid those same mistakes. I'm not going to say the Brotherhood of Steel is absolutely perfect, because if you played New Vegas, Father Elijah is proof to the opposite. We too have people that are not the best, that go a little cuckoo. But we police our own. So I'll leave you all with that. I'll leave you all with that today. Let yourselves dwell on that. Because at the end of the day, right, this wasteland has seen enough war. But the war isn't going to change, because war never changes. Not really. War is always about politics and resources and land that has resources. It boils down to politics and resources. That's what war boils down to. War doesn't change. People change. Politics change. Policies change. Visions change. But war does not change. War never changes. It's a very accurate statement. Many would argue with me that that's not the case. But if you actually stop and boil it down, as I've said, it boils down to politics and resources. The whole reason the Brotherhood of Steel and the NCR were at war was a difference in political vision. The Brotherhood of Steel believes, rightly so, that advanced technology in the wrong hands is going to lead to disaster. The NCR disagreed. Well, NCR, how's Shady Sands looking? It's looking like an awfully big hole from up here on the Predwin. How's that for advanced technology in the wrong hands? How's that for we told you so? Like, honestly, like, let that sink in here, right? Let that sink in. Just how serious that actually is. Technology in the wrong hands. It happens in real life. It happens IRL. We end up with people in possession of things that they should not be in possession of. The wasteland is no different. This wasteland is no different. Be you in Appalachia, be you in the Mojave, be you in New California, be you in the capital wasteland or the ruins of Boston and its Commonwealth. Be you in the wasteland that was once the United States of America. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. I'm sat here in a bunker right now making this case because it's a serious case to make. Technology in the wrong hands, it doesn't matter whose hands. It could be Vault-Tec, it could be the Enclave, it could be Westec, it could be Robert House. It leads to very dire consequences. It leads to a lot of innocent people getting hurt and worse. It may lead to the extinction of humanity. Now, if you're tuning in and you've played Fallout 1, you will have heard the phrase, the last hope this tortured planet and its people have. Without us, humanity is sure to perish. Now, when I started playing Fallout 76, I saw that statement made manifest. The Brotherhood of Steel had fallen, and the Scorch Plague had wiped out absolutely everybody in its wake. The only force that held the Scorch Plague back was the men and women of the Brotherhood of Steel. Once they were dead and the Brotherhood had fallen, everybody else went within a matter of weeks. We held it for months. They couldn't even slow it for a week. That's what technology in the wrong hands does. An entire wasteland state, a whole state, dead. Because technology was in the wrong hands. Technology was in the hands of the Enclave. Technology was in the hands of Vault-Tec, West-Tec, and many others who should not have had access to it. You may disagree with the Brotherhood on our politics when it comes down to how we help people in the wastelands. I agree, we can be doing a lot more. We should be doing a lot more. But we're preventing humanity from going extinct as a species. That's no easy feat. Like, actually, let that sink in. That's the one thing the Brotherhood of Steel is doing. In all the games, in the TV show, the Brotherhood of Steel is pushing to get that technology out of the hands of those who should not wield it. Enclave, Vault-Tec, again, and I'll just keep going over it. Because at the end of the day, the Brotherhood of Steel is trying to stop the extinction of humanity. No other faction's doing that. No other faction is on a righteous preservation crusade to preserve what little is left of mankind. None but the Brotherhood of Steel. None. The Minutemen do their best to save the Commonwealth. What of everybody else? The Brotherhood of Steel left New California to Appalachia as the 1st Expeditionary Force. Before the satellites of the old world failed, the Brotherhood of Steel had a fully established, full-fledged chapter. A full chapter before the technology of the old world completely failed. They died trying to stop what technology in the wrong hands had wrought. That core tenet of the Brotherhood of Steel, from Fallout 1 to the TV show and 76, has been the same. To stop technology falling into the wrong hands and being abused to where we may go extinct as a species. My chapter, the EASC, we dedicate ourselves to that principle. Granted, it's a video game, an online video game at that. There's only so much realistically we can do. There's only so much we will do. One of the ways in which we are trying to combat technology in the wrong hands is to educate people by things like what I'm doing now, by stating the obvious, stating the long-term ramifications. People don't stop when they play these games to think what the long-term consequences of their decisions and their actions will be. But those in my chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel, they know all too well my stance, and they agree with it. Maybe not on everything, like the destruction of the Institute in Fallout 4, but they get where I'm coming from. And where I'm coming from is where the founder of the Brotherhood of Steel, Roger Maxson, was coming from. Where Scribe 3 in Fallout 1 was coming from. Like the knights of yore, after the fall of Rome, protected what was left of civilization, so too does the Brotherhood of Steel. We protect what's left of civilization from going extinct by scientists playing God, old world politicians refusing to change their view and outlook and their ways, by using technology to render us extinct as a species. We're protecting humankind from its worst enemy, itself. Again, there is a lot of things the Brotherhood could be doing better. We could take a bit more of a proactive stance in helping settlements, instead of just protecting supply lines and occasionally helping the settlements when we're in the area. We could actively start to police regions like we did in Fallout 3 in the capital wasteland. But we could also maintain the policing of dangerous technology. There's a reason Owen Lyons had a problem with members who left and became known as the Brotherhood outcasts. The reason is he stopped policing the most dangerous thing humanity has: technology. You can have all the knowledge of viruses in the world, but if you don't have the equipment to do anything with that knowledge, you can't do anything. Like, actually think about that for a moment. If they don't have the technology by which to pursue FEV research or synth research or whatever, then they can't do it even if they know how, because they don't have the equipment to do so. We're going for the root cause of the biggest threat to humanity. We're going after the technology that empowers groups like the Enclave with their genocide policies, their FEV modifications to destroy all mutations would affect every human being on the continental mainland United States. That's not up for debate. The Enclave even tells you that to your face, that it will eliminate any and all persons as well as mutated wildlife, super mutants, and every other horror this wasteland has conjured. The Brotherhood of Steel, we're standing in the way of that. By removing that technology, by keeping it out of the hands of people that will use it regardless of the consequences, like the NCR science teams. Don't believe me? Play New Vegas. They'll send you to Vault 22. That vault has a massive spore problem. The spore plant's spores can infect human beings like cordyceps. If you've seen The Last of Us, you know exactly where that's going to go. The NCR doesn't care. The Brotherhood of Steel does. We say burn it and destroy the data. It's too dangerous. Get rid of it. That's the difference. We want humanity to have a chance to come back from the brink of extinction, to have a chance to rebuild civilization, to have a chance to restore the cities of the wasteland, to rebuild skyscrapers, to reunite the world, to perhaps even one day again return to the stars. But the only way to do that is to be very, very, very cautious and careful, to not rush things, to be aware of the consequences, to thoroughly consider the long-term ramifications of what we are doing. That is the major difference. No faction in Fallout are the good guys. None. But the Brotherhood of Steel damn well comes close. We damn well come close. This is another one of the things about Brotherhood of Steel Radio that I enjoy doing is voicing my beliefs on factions, especially the Brotherhood. Because it's an outlet. It allows me to do that. This whole series once went by a different name. Way, way back in the day. And it was quite popular back then. I'm actually trying to find it now. I believe I've gone too far. Yeah, I've gone too far. But see, this is the thing, like, at the end of the day, you may not agree with what I've said, but if you take it into consideration and actually look at it from that perspective, you may find you agree with the Brotherhood of Steel a lot more than you initially did. But it does appear that the original series that this used to go by, I can no longer find. It's a shame, but that does happen. To come back around, though, to end on a high note, the upcoming DLC and map expansion to Fallout 76 is looking very, very promising. There's going to be a new boss fight with multiple boss enemies, which is going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot of new weapons, no doubt, new outfits, and much, much more. So to those of you coming to Fallout and joining us on 76, I hope you'll stick it out to see where this game journey leads, because I sure am interested to see, where Bethesda's planning to go with this. I'm quite curious to see how it will all end. This all being said, thank you very much to those who have joined me on the stream. Thank you very much to those who've commented. I appreciate the interaction. It's nice to actually have an active comment section on a live stream. I don't get much of that anymore. If you'd like to help out the channel, feel free to like. If you're new to the channel and have enjoyed this stream, feel free to subscribe. I do streams like this quite often. Not live from 76, mind you, but on the topics of Fallout. Soon enough, if there's enough engagement, I might even start talking about the Grand Theft Auto series and data mines and stuff. That will no doubt start with GTA 6 when that releases. Depends. We will see. Thank you very much to whoever left the like. I didn't thank you for that earlier, but thank you for that. So to my fellow Brotherhood of Steel out there, be you brother or sister of steel, may steel be with you. Ad Victorium. To the rest of you, To all you wasteland outsiders, stay safe. Remember that the Enclave are like any real-life politician group, full of absolute Brahmin dung. And, above all, don't be like Night Tiders. Don't feed the Algoi. That is all.